This is the sound for trying to symbolize a little bit of a shout out of a podcast today, where we're trying to symbolize a little bit of a shout out for a friend's business today. Today we're trying to give a little recognition to a different type of business. It's a little bit out of the realm of typical consciousness. It somewhat combines the focuses of spiritual health into the practices that are used to try to illustrate its processes. What it entails is trying to illustrate how, through the nature of human touch, through a technique that is called Alexander, it's possible to be able to try to transmit certain signals and energy to pre-born children. So through this process, it's somewhat of an energetic transition which is meant to regulate certain issues that sometimes occur with premature birth and such things. So in essence, we're just trying to bring some leverage to this process if possible, and a little bit of focus to just add a little bit of value by doing a little bit of a mantra to try to just focus a little bit more energy towards this direction, so that hopefully there's an element of a business mindset that can somewhat spool and spawn around this focal type of energy, which also is a symbol for somewhat of a spiritual health focus. In addition, because spiritual health is somewhat of an unknown type of a chemistry, type of a interaction that has to do with items that are not necessarily proven or provable, but it has to do with elements of energy transacting, that has to do with also human mindsets combining and connecting through interactions that are not necessarily scientifically spoken of, because it's not exactly as scientific as biology being able to interact in a chemical chemistry type of fashion, which is the most easily provable process in the scientific world and the medical medicine realm. That tends to be the first department which is taking care of the order of this sort of ailment and this issue, and they are the first people to be able to try to absolve certain issues in this department. So what we want to try to do is offer some leverage in this sense. We want to try to offer a little bit of a mindset that is offering like a cleansing of this focus for this type of a business, to be able to try to get a little bit more energy, to be able to try to get more leverage in this direction, to be able to try to get a little more positive flow and flotation of mindset energy, which is coming from a place of leverage. And it's also coming from a place of fostering shelter animals to be able to try to transition them into the medical field, so that in essence there's a combination of the essence of focusing on business and businesses as a whole in this specific business to begin with, because it's somewhat of a business that's trying to interact with the rest of the medical field, and ultimately we're also connecting to the spiritual medical side of things when referring to this type of a service, which is also aligned with something known as spiritual health, which connects to things that are somewhat unknown, but it also has to do with animals in this fashion, because animals have the ability to be able to connect with each other and connect in mindsets and an animal frequency, animal communication sense, which is very much unknown and understood and understudied by the human culture. And so therefore, when we're trying to add leverage to the process of this business, we're trying to add a whole lot of energy behind it in a spiritual health meditation mantra type of a sense, where we're trying to just focus upon leverage that can be added to this type of an energy that's trying to transact in this world of assisting with premature births, that in essence speaks to a certain aspect of an unborn side of life, which in essence is speaking to a different side of life, which in essence is also speaking to humanity in the past, present, and future, and also to a different realm of spiritual health that is in essence trying to grow this specific business. We're trying to focus on this specific business. It has to do with premature babies. In essence, that's the website at the same time. If there is an interest to inquire with this specific business, so along those lines, it is relevant. Actually, it's Alexander Babies. So in essence, it's trying to add more value by trying to focus on leverage that can be revolving around this business by trying to combine spiritual finance and also spiritual health practices and mindsets, because spiritual health is also connected to the kindness zone. Spiritual finance is connected to the monetary energy zone, which is above ground, and spiritual health is connected to the kindness zone, which is underneath the ground, which also has to do with creation. It's the creation zone, and this particular business has to do with spiritual health, which has to do with the kindness zone, which has to do with creation, which has to do with connecting to the synapses of all the other energies in the world, which is able to be the leverage for this type of a business to be able to grow, because this is a foundational business. In this essence, in this instance, this particular business, Alexander Babies, is one that is trying to come from a place of not necessarily a lot of proven mechanics and mechanisms in this space, combining Alexander and premature birth, which in essence is something unique to be able to add to the blend of demand, which there's a significant demand in this world, and adding a unique supply, which is a blend of specific services that are able to be combined together to be able to add a specific recipe to be able to serve this niche, which is a wide niche in the medical field, which is in essence trying to be served by this unique ingredient recipe to be able to add value to this whole market pool, which has so far proven to be pretty effective upon being entered into a couple podcasts. This particular service has already appeared on a couple podcasts and has already got some traction in the marketplace, in addition to adding a website to the realm of the business world. But in addition, Alexander Babies is trying to gain a little bit of spiritual health and spiritual finance support in the way of leverage that we're trying to add to it in this particular podcast by us adding the leverage of fostering animals as almost symbols of spirit animals that are supporting the good and the nature of the process of humanity being supported by this particular business of Alexander Babies, and Alexander Babies being a representation of this niche marketplace which is trying to serve a wide audience in this demand pool specifically to be able to try to, to be able to focus on this mantra, to be able to try to expand this servicing of this demand pool with the supply that we conceivably are able to push in the direction of helping to assist this demand pool by adding this mantra in the direction of this demand pool and assisting with the premature baby market in essence, and also the Alexander method by also using the element of dogs and cats and fostering animals in the background and in the backdrop of using the healing powers of dogs and cats and fostering animals, which is a free service to be able to help fostering shelter animals so that they don't die, in essence, to be able to transition them into the medical field so that any premature babies are also to be able to be supported with the healing energies of fostering animals, which is free. It's like renting animals from the shelters, in essence, and it's for a temporary time until they're adopted. But this energy is able to be currently also in its form of aggregating itself, be able to connect with human energy and offer healing powers that are healing frequencies through the element of dogs and cats spending their time with humans, and especially with newborn children. It is a connection that also is able to happen in this fashion, and at the same time, there are also other studies and proven mechanisms where dogs and cats have been able to identify certain issues and ailments within humans before they have become something of an additional problem in the past. And there are different studies related to this, so the frequencies and the energies that are emitted by dogs and cats, especially in terms of trying to assist our friend in this particular business that is the focus of today's podcast, by focusing on leveraging all leverage tools in the world and energy tools within the kindness zone, within the spiritual health zone, which has to do with energy, primarily energy as opposed to money energy, which is above that, mostly in the business zone. This is the creation zone that we're living in. We're trying to manifest and push as much energy as possible in the direction of this business so that this business has the ability to help to serve this particular market, in the spiritual health market, to be able to try to expand focuses and use the mechanism of the mechanic of the bell that was rung in the beginning of this podcast, which has to do with accountability, which has to do with ringing the bell upon developing certain completion of certain steps being taken on a day-to-day basis of not only leveraging oneself, but also leveraging the wider process of a supply of a fostering shelter animals market that in essence is trying to find space in the external world to be able to be fostered so that it creates space in the shelters to be able to have more dogs become adopted when the right time comes about, so that adopters are able to step in when the timing comes and is right and aligns with the timing when fostering people who are fostering and fosters are holding on to the dogs, and there is enough shelter space to be able to go around so that the fluid process is fluid and that animal energy is being able to be used and leveraged in the medical market in this way. And also all the animals are able to leverage, all the forest animals are able to leverage and converge for this one specific business, which is a new technique. It's a new entry into the medical field of the specific combination, providing a unique recipe for the premature baby market, in essence, which is significant. It is a large demand pool, more or less, and this Alexander Baby's business has the gumption to be able to step into this realm, into this medical field, into this medical market pool, specifically in this business realm, to be able to try to add value to this market demand pool. And so we are trying to add value in the spiritual health and also the kindness zone to be able to bring as much energy that comes from the kindness zone as possible, from the roots of the earth, from all the other spirit animals in the forest, from all the fostered animals that need to be able to come out as well and be able to connect with as many homes as possible, to be able to try to leverage the Jennifer space, to be able to assist in this process, to be able to add value to the business founder, to be able to add value and leverage to all the energies that are possibly able to surround this business owner, to be able to possibly add value to this specific business owner, to be able to continue to add them the energy to be able to take steps forward in this business process, to be able to move towards premature baby assistance by also leveraging hopefully the animal wellness energy that comes from animal wellness, that is innate energy, that is healing energy, is frequency, that's healing frequency, to be able to step forward and continue to take small steps forward into this market, into the premature market, whereas in essence it's not just one being alone, it's using this energy as a force behind them of all the fostering animals that are right behind in support of energy for this, to be able to take steps forward, for this business to be able to continue to take steps forward, small steps every day, each day into this market, to be able to serve more and more people, knowing that all the animals are behind them as leverage in the business pursuit, to take small steps forward as a mantra in this instance, because all the fostered animals are right behind her, in essence, in this instance, to be able to try to help continue to grow this business by being able to continue to leverage the focus of leverage in of itself, in all of the energies in the kindness zone, all of the energies in the kindness zone, all the energies in the soil, in the roots, the electricity that comes from the soil, of all the growth potential, conceivable growth energy within the electricity of the roots and the soil, all that come from underneath the earth, to be able to try to help continue to add value to, in addition to the fostering animals, dogs and cats that are behind this business founder, to be able to push forward into this market, into the medical market as a solo founder at the current time, to be able to have additional support and leverage to be able to continue to serve all of the people in the world that are in this premature market, to be able to leverage the Alexander times premature market in this specific recipe sense, because the animal healing energy is right behind her. The animal healing energy is right behind her, and there's plenty of animals to be able to support her, and all of the animals, the fostering animals, need to be able to transition into the medical market to be able to support her in her business pursuit, to be able to assist with premature births, because of the nature of the ability to scale dogs and cats that are able to be free, to be able to come through for free across the line from shelters as shelter pets, to be able to free up space for shelters, to be able to move into the medical space and be able to help to serve and assist the business founder from Alexander Babies, to then therefore be able to add the healing powers, the healing energies into this unique market of premature development, to be able to add value in the healing powers of all these animals, add the healing power animal energies across the line from the shelter side to the medical market, from the shelter side to the medical market, and to the spiritual health side and into the kindness zone side, to continue to leverage all of the energy, on this side, and ring the bell every single day for different progress to be made, ring the bell every single day for different goals and different progress to be made, ring the bell every single day for different progress and different goals to be met every single day, knowing that the fostering animals are in the corner and in the support and behind of Alexander Babies each step along the way, as moving into trying to add value to all of the energies that are possible to be reaching all of the premature market development children and aggregate people within this market, to be able to continue to serve them with all of the fostering animals, using all of the animal energy. All of the animal energy is behind this business, supporting it as leveraged energy, leveraging all of this energy to be able to grow the business at the top end of everything, grow this Alexander business to be able to grow all of the energy within that and send all of the energy from all the fostering animals into this business at the top end as someone leading the way and being supported by all the fostering animals, because it's a vessel for all of this energy to be able to travel through in human form. And at the same time, it's also an energy and a vessel for all of the energy of the healing energy of the animals collectively to be able to travel through as a vessel into this market at the same time, specifically, as well as into the spiritual health market from the kindness zone and from the development zone, to be able to leverage all of the energy within the under the ground energy of the electricity and the electrical pulses of the plants and energy of humanity and electricity that is within the biology and the biochemistry underneath the crust of the planet of the earth, to be able to then transition into the pre-development side of life, coming into life and going on to the other side of life and transitioning all of this energy onto the other side of life so that it can continue to expand birth and it can breathe new life into birth from this animal energy in support of Alexander babies. All of this animal energy in support of, as leverage to Alexander babies being supported by all of the leverage of all the fostering animals, all of this animal energy, all of this animal healing energy going through into and through this vessel, into this vessel, in through this vessel of Alexander babies as a forefront leader in the space of Alexander babies, to be able to focus on the healing medicine and the spiritual health medicine with the healing medicine of fostering animals and all animal energy fostering forest animals behind her in the progress forward, in the spiritual health realm, in the kindness zone realm, in the creation realm, going forward to be able to add value and continue to ring the bell, ring, ding, rung, every single day upon completing a little bit of progress and staying in that progress zone, staying in the progress zone, staying in the perpetual growth 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 zone. Thanks again. Bye, Digitech. Bye. Peace. Bye. Digitech Change for Games. Digitech Change for Game Studios. Bye. Peace. Bye.